If you've been scrolling through TikTok lately, you might have seen a woman introducing herself as a Chanty Beluga and thought, wait, so who is this woman? Why does everyone suddenly know her and why are people acting like Chanty Beluga is one of the biggest celebrities on the internet? Well, here is the crazy part that Chanty Beluga isn't even a real person. Can you believe that? Yeah, she's a character, and somehow this completely ridiculous idea has exploded across TikTok, Instagram, and X, with people creating an entire universe around a woman whose name sounds like it belongs to a well rather than an influencer. So today we are breaking down exactly who Chanty Beluga is, who created her, why the internet became obsessed with her, and how a completely random joke turned into one of the strangest viral trends of 2026. And trust me, the deeper you go into Chanty Beluga universe, the funnier and wider it gets. So let's start with the obvious question. Who is this woman? The easiest answer is she's a Chanty Beluga. That's literally a joke. There isn't some huge celebrity hiding behind the name. There isn't a famous actress secretly pretending to be someone else. And there isn't an elaborate mystery involving a real woman named Chanty Beluga. Instead, Chanty is an fictional personality created by comedian and content creator Courtney O'Donnell. And Courtney's idea is incredibly simple. She created this completely ordinary woman with an absolute ridiculous name and then filmed her doing completely ordinary things. That's it, but somehow that's exactly what makes it work. Imagine someone walking into a party, everyone is introducing themselves. Then she casually says, "Hi, I'm Shanti Beluga," and she acts like that's the most normal introduction in the world. There is no explanation, no punchline, no dramatic music, just, "Hi, I'm Chanty Beluga." And that's where the internet comes in because instead of simply watching the joke and moving on, people started building an entire personality around Chanty. Sadly, she wasn't just a character, she became an internet celebrity. People started treating her like she had a real life. They began creating stories about her, they praised her, they joked about her relationships, they reacted to her everyday activities as if they were a major celebrity event, and that brings us to one of the biggest reasons this trend became so popular. The joke isn't really the name anymore. The joke is pretending that Chanty Beluga is completely normal. Think about it. If someone named Chanty Beluga walks into a room, you will probably have questions, but Chanty doesn't. She simply that she carries on with her life. She gets coffee, gets to parties, she orders food, she hangs out, she talks about everyday problems, and the most normal she acts, the funnier the name she becomes. It's basically absurd humor taken to its extreme, and TikTok is probably the perfect place for something like this to explode because TikTok doesn't always need a complicated story. Sometimes the simplest idea can become the biggest meme. When one person makes a strange video, someone else copies it, another person adds their own joke, then sadly, thousands of people understand the reference. And Shanti Beluga followed exactly that kind of pattern. The character even has her own TikTok account. Can you believe that? Yeah, where viewers can watch Shanti doing things that will normally be completely uninteresting. But because she's Shanti Beluga, everything suddenly feels important. One video shows her enjoying herself in the sun, another has her getting ready for a party. There are videos about ordering takeouts, there are videos about coffee, and there are even moments where Shanti seems genuinely confused by something happening around her. And that's where the internet really started having fun. People begin treating these tiny moments like episodes from the life of a celebrity. You might see a comment section acting as a tough. Shanti has just announced the biggest event of the year, and that's the beauty of the meme. Everyone knows it's ridiculous, but everyone plays along. And then an entire internet community agrees to pretend that something absurd is completely serious. That's when a meme can become incredibly powerful. But there is another interesting part of this story. Because if you're seeing Chanty Beluga everywhere and wondered who is actually behind this, the answer is Courtney O'Donnell. Yeah, Courtney is a comedian, writer, and content creator. According to the information reported about her, she worked on social media and creative projects for major brands including YouTube, Panera, Google Maps, and Coffee Mate. She was also reportedly uh, involved with a McDonald's social media, Wyden plus Kennedy, between 2020 and 2024. And she also worked on her own creative projects. In fact, Courtney has a solo show called Planet Courtney, and she released a short film called Going Pop in 2025. So Shanti Beluga wasn't created completely out of nowhere. There is an experienced comedian behind this character who understands something incredibly important about internet humor. Sometimes you don't need to explain joke. You just need to commit to it. And Courtney commits. She doesn't constantly remind viewers that Shanti is fictional. Instead, she lets people enter the joke themselves. That's probably one of the reasons the character has spread so quickly, because viewers aren't simply watching Shanti, they are participating in a joke. And that's a huge difference. Think about other viral internet trends. A sound became popular, a dance became popular, a phrase as well. But Shanti is different. The character itself is the trend, and once people understand the character, uh, they can make jokes about her in almost in any situation. That's why you are seeing the name move beyond TikTok. People are discussing Shanti on X, they are posting about her on Instagram, they are making memes, they are creating fake lore, and they are acting like they've been following Shanti's career for years. Even though the character is brand new, that's what makes this trend so fascinating. Well, the internet has essentially created a fake celebrity culture around fictional women, and honestly, that's probably the most 2026 thing imaginable. But here is something I think is special, especially interesting. Why did this name work? Why Chanty Beluga? Okay, so listen, because the name itself sounds almost believable, but also completely ridiculous. Chanty sounds like a real person name. Beluga obviously makes you think of the wall. Wall, yeah. It's WHALA. Put the two together, and your brain immediately goes, wait, what? You understand? And that tiny moment of confession is exactly what makes the joke memorable. You hear Shanti Beluga once and you're probably not forgetting it. And now there is an entire online personality series. Everyone treats her the funnier it becomes. Well, at the moment, I would say that that's enough to take over the internet. But what do you think? Is Chanty Beluga actually funny, or is the internet completely losing it? Let me know in the comments, and if this trend keeps getting bigger, don't be surprised if we all are talking about Chanty Beluga again very soon. Because at this point, who knows what Shanti is going to do next. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. See you again in the next. Bye bye.